I am not sick of pancakes. Like, we literally eat pancakes at my house still 3-4 days a week. So Kodiak Cakes was really inspired by my mom, and it's a pretty homegrown story. My mom had this pancake recipe. That was really the kind of the idea and the inspiration behind starting a pancake company. In the mid-90s, my older brother John wanted to start a business. And so he was talking to my mom one day about business ideas, and she said, "Hey John, why don't you take the pancake recipe and make a real product out of that and create a brand and go sell it?" So John loved that idea. So he's the one who took her recipe and modified it and turned it into an actual mix that we could go and sell. And he created the brand Kodiak Cakes. And he asked me to help him start selling it. And we just started walking into these little gift shops and selling our first product, our first pancake and waffle mix. I took it over at the end of '97, and I kept it alive. In fact, I ran it on the side for about the next 7 years. I knew I need to either go full time with this business, or I need to just shut it down or sell it or something. So my dad was 65 years old at the time, and he was retired. And he's like, "Hey, let's do this together, Joel. I'll help you." So he and I set up a little office in his basement, and we built the business up to about $800,000 in revenue. So we didn't quite hit $1 million. And in food, that's tight, because the margins are pretty small in food. Mm-hmm. So finally in 2009, he decided to retire, and that's when I needed to find somebody to replace him.
I think we're both pretty fortunate to get connected to each other. Joel had been doing Kodiak for so long. I was coming out of school, so I was viewing this as, all right, I'm ready to make my mark on the world.
When Cameron came, it really was this new energy that I needed to keep going. And he didn't have all that 12 years of struggle behind him. He was ready to go. I started putting Cameron on sales, and he didn't have a lot of experience, so I made the mistake putting him on some pretty small gift shop accounts. But the way Cameron thinks, he always thinks way bigger. He does not think small.
That's where we went to Shark Tank, and I sent out a random email to just the Shark Tank email address, hoping that someone was going to respond. Shark Tank called and said, "Hey, we'd love to have you guys come on the show and pitch Kodiak for an investment." And Joel and I were super excited. So we went out to California and we shot the episode. And I remember being so nervous when we were walking out, standing in front of the sharks, because these were people that you'd heard a lot about, you'd seen on TV, and we didn't interact with them at all before. So there was no time to become comfortable with them. It was just stand in front of them and now pitch them. You want to leave it all on the table. You want to do everything you can to make a deal. But when we didn't get that deal, there was part of us now that was thinking, I hope it actually makes it on TV. And finally in April, we got an email from them about a week before it was going to air, and they said, "Hey, heads up, your episode is going to air. We know we only gave you 7 days. We typically like to give people enough time to order enough inventory and prepare so your website doesn't crash." So we scrambled for the next week to make sure that we had enough inventory at Target, make sure that our website was optimized and it wouldn't crash. Target sold out within 24 hours everywhere. Our website crashed within minutes of it airing on the East Coast. So there was a lot that we had to figure out, but the responses from consumers were huge.
2014, because of all of those events, was just a huge inflection point year for us, and really just finally put us on this incredible growth path. And we've been on that growth path ever since.